Hi, I'm Billy from the Fandible Podcast Network, and welcome to Straight to Home Video, where we are celebrating our favorite films that never quite got the sequels that they rightfully deserved. On Fandible, for the past 9 years, we have created original stories that we've put on our Actual Play podcast. We have delved into the fantasy realms of Dungeons and Dragons, and we fought on the mean streets of Seattle with Shadowrun. But after 9 years, we are starting to run out of ideas. So, in the spirit of Hollywood, we're just going to make a sequel to a film that no one asked for. And then we're going to stream it straight to your home. Video. Straight to home video. But before we decide which film we're going to sequel, let's meet the cast.
Hey, I'm Dan, and I like science, and I like fiction, so I guess I like sci-fi.
Hi, I'm Billy, and I love a good romantic comedy film.
I'm Angela, and I love pulp adventure films.
Hi, my name is Jesus, and I like fantasy.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I like scary movies.
For our Straight to Home video series, each cast member has placed a name in the proverbial hat of a film that they feel never quite got the sequel it deserved. Now, we have defined a film's eligibility with 3 categories. First, it must not be a sequel or have a sequel. So, I'm sorry, Last Jedi, you're on your own. Secondly, it cannot have a rating higher than R, because you really don't want to see us doing Showgirls 2, do you? And third, it must have had a theatrical release at some point. So much like the Oscars, we're just going to ignore Netflix. All right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, with the power of Hollywood, I'm going to find out which film we're going to sequel. Booyah! All right. And our first film is Halloween 3. Halloween 3 by David. Just gonna have to make a quick call here. Looks like someone didn't understand the rules.
Dude, you are very dead. Go for David.
Hey, David, this is Billy from that Straight to Home Video thing. Yeah, I'm calling because I don't think you understood the rules. I said no sequels or films that had sequels, and this is Halloween 3. It's literally both.
Well, actually, Halloween 3 isn't any of those things, despite the title. See, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is part of the Halloween franchise, but it's its own unique story and has nothing to do with Michael Myers running around California terrorizing babysitters.
Yeah. I get that, but it had a Halloween 4, thus Halloween 4 is the sequel to Halloween 3, thus it's disqualified.
Yeah, but it wasn't, because Halloween 3 was so despised when it was released that the studio backtracked and then released Halloween 4, which is literally titled The Return of Michael Myers. And old Mikey has been a fixture of the films ever since.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know you knew so much about the film, so maybe next time you should host. I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So as I was...
Hi, I'm David Donnelly of the Fandible Podcast Network.
Are you serious?
Welcome to Straight to Home Video, where we will be role-playing the sequel to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. But first, let's roll the original 1982 theatrical trailer.
God, you suck.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the night no one comes home.
You don't really know much about Halloween. Halloween, the barriers will be down between the real and the unreal. And the dead might be looking in. The last great one took place 3,000 years ago when the hills ran red. Halloween, the children.
You happen to know anything about this Cochran?
All I can tell you, mister, is watch out. He's watching you, friend, I guarantee you that.
Trick or treat, trick or treat.
Hey, Mr. Cochran, just what is the final process?
Fellas, I was just kidding.
Witchcraft. To us, it was a way of controlling our environment.
Hey!
Where are they taking her?
They're taking her to the factory.
I want a mask. Can I have a mask?
Just what I had in mind for you, little buddy. Why, Cocker? Why? Do I need a reason?
I've got nothing here to indicate there was ever a body at all.
Operator, this is an emergency.
I do love a good joke, and this is the best ever. A joke on the children. I'm glad you'll be able to watch it.
You've got to believe me!
They're going to kill us. All of us.
Stop it!
The world's going to change tonight, Doctor. Happy Halloween.
Stop it!
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the night no one comes home. Season of the Witch.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Fandible.com, actual play podcast. And we are regretting things.
So many things.
Hey. And the way that we're regretting them today is through the very first episode of Straight to Home Video. And
already off to a great start.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Oh, is it a wrong time to start to rebrand? Straight to Home Video is our series where we take films that were robbed of both Oscar nominations and also a great sequel, and then we squeeze them and distill what comes out into a fine whiskey, and then it's smoky and it's delicious, and we make a sequel out of it, and then we role play that sequel. I am your director, Dave, and I'm going to be running the sequel to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Or, I mean, yes, it works. Just watch the video. We have a video. If you haven't yet, I highly recommend that you watch Halloween 3 Season of the Witch before you watch this. If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm sure everything will make complete sense regardless. And so with that in mind, let's go around the table. We're going to start with Billy, and then we're going to go to Angela, and then we're going to go to Daniel, and then finally Jesus. And introduce yourself and tell us your characters.
Hey everybody, this is Billy, and I am playing the mysterious Patient 130. But I think my name is George, and I'm in a mental institution because there's a brief misunderstanding involving a cat. As in, I ran one. It wasn't so much a cat as a person, and I was very apologetic, and I cried, and I held a funeral for that person, and then they said leave the Macy's and leave the mannequin, and I would not leave the mannequin. Not today, not tomorrow. Well, I did eventually because they lugged me off into the mental institution where I met my Dan, he talks to me through the wall, and I love him.
And
cut. Nailed it on the first take. Angela?
All right, following that. Hi, everybody. This is Angela. I am playing Samantha Chalice, Dr. Samantha Chalice. I am the daughter of another doctor who disappeared on Halloween night in 1982. Last time anyone saw him, he was hopping into a car with a woman half his age. So I decided to be a doctor just like dear old dad, but it's to prove that he was just an asshole. It's not because being a doctor inherently makes you an asshole. Everyone tried to make excuses for him. Oh, his job's so hard. And I'm like, bitch, please. But so I've been a very successful doctor, very in demand. I'm on call at the hospital a lot. I'm a surgeon. And then one day I get a call from this doctor at a psychiatric hospital out in New Jersey claiming that my father has woken up in the hospital. So I am off traveling across the country from LA to New Jersey in order to find out who this crazy person claiming to be my father is.
Fair enough.
Excellent. Daniel?
Hey kids, I'm playing old Mr. McCready. I used to have a job there at the old TV station because, you know, sometimes you got to pay the bills, even though TV is what's rotting kids' brains these days, or at least kind of did pretty literally a few years ago. But whatever, I did what I could. I made some calls, and this crazy old bastard just called in on the phone, and frankly, it was good excuse as any to shut that crap down. And ever since then, I've moved on. I've retired. I've tried to leave it all behind, except, well, phone's ringing again. Crap.
I guess it's me next. Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Smith, a tall, thin, Caucasian man with some spectacular hair. I'm also off investigating this Mr. Chalice person as well. I've been doing it for a couple of years, trying to find any evidence of this person. Found nothing. Until recently, I think I heard something about someone claiming to be this person. I'm just off to investigate the matter.
Fantastic. And we have our cast. All right, let's get started. First, the screen is black. Slowly fading onto the screen are letters adorned in yellow and then turn to red and then fade out. But before they do, the audience reads, quote, "Autumn steals the summer's glare with reds and yellows and chills the air. Before your Christmas gifts you share, you must survive October's scare. Unknown." And it fades to black. And then splash cut, exterior and overhead of a wooded area. Autumn trees cover the landscape that rapidly pace and pass underneath the view of the audience. It is clear very soon that we are on an airplane, and the camera reaches back through a airplane window into the cabin and settles on one young woman. What does she look like?
The young woman is in her, doing the math, mid to late 30s. She has sandy blonde hair that she keeps cut in a very short, no nonsense bob. And she's dressed in expensive casual wear.
And sitting next to you is a rather portly gentleman who is excitedly telling you all about his used car sales. That he has. He's actually he's sold so many cars for the company that he gets to go to a convention. You know what a convention is, young lady?
I flagged out the flight attendant.
A convention is when a lot of people get together of like-minded desires.
Another gin and tonic, please.
Did you say that you were staying in town again, young lady? And the camera pans away, and the exterior shot of the plane as the landing gear extends and touches down on the tarmac. There is a flurry of activity as we have quick shots through the airport of Ms. Chalice walking through, dragging luggage behind her, hurriedly on a cell phone, multiple cell phones, a very busy person, able to discern the squawk from the AP from years of spending it in a hospital where it is literally life or death. Getting into a cab and drives off into the wilds of New Jersey, extending exterior shot overhead, simply sees the taxi disappear into the distance. And then we come down once again on a all-white hospital, pristine in its exterior and its look. It is square. There is kind of chilling banality to it, but the surrounding area is extremely well kept. There are waist-high hedges everywhere, and there are people milling about in various hospital garb attended to by personnel from the hospital. And the taxi cab pulls up. There's a African-American man standing there with close-cropped gray hair that is standing in a suit but has a doctor's stethoscope around his neck, and he waves at Miss Chalice as she gets out of the cab. Miss Chalice.
Dr. Chalice.
Sorry, my mistake, Dr. Chalice. It's been an awfully long day here at the hospital. I'm sorry. I'm Dr. Greenberg. We spoke on the phone.
I understand. I've been there myself, Doctor.
It's been quite an exciting afternoon. Please this way. May I get your bags?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, fantastic. I hope you found the plane ride. It's pointless chatter. Please, and the doctor leads Dr. Chalice through a lobby, a grandiose, beautiful lobby with a lot of marble and white painted wood. Grandiose staircases arch up towards a second floor, which ends in a beautiful overlooking balcony and then extends into different doors that disappear. Mm-hmm. And he leads Dr. Chalice through into an elevator at the very back of the lobby and hits basement. Well, you see, Doctor, that this has been a very interesting time for us. Mr. Previously, he was known as Mr. Doe, was a patient brought here by the city, and we were attempting to, I suppose resuscitate is not the appropriate medical term, but he had a very peculiar condition.
And that was?
He was, synaptically, he was responding. But really the only thing that we could get to have him respond to it with his full body was scream. We showed him a television and he started screaming out loud. this horrible wail, yelling, "They're coming! They're going to kill us!" And then he would slip back into his stupor the second that he was away.
And this has been going on for how many years?
Well, I would say I don't have the documentation in front of me. That he arrived before I was actually stationed here by state government. You understand? We are a semi-public hospital, if that makes any sense. Semi-public. It sounds like I make that word up, but I don't. It's real. And please, this way. And the door slides open with a mechanical clank, and extending in front of you, adorned with the stereotypical flickering neon lights above, is a long hallway of barred, chained doors with gridded windows in the front, and the howl of the extremely mentally unwell beckon your footsteps. Exterior, the hospital again. Another person arrives either via cab, old car, or foot.
Foot.
All right. Foot. What does the man look like?
The man looks, as I previously said, very tall, probably a 6'2" Caucasian man. Thin, but still strongly built, with some carefully cropped hair. He walks forward in a beautiful and elegant business suit. And you look at his hand looks extremely manicured. Yep.
And do you walk right in?
Of course.
All right. You are greeted by a woman and man both standing at the desk, and they look up from their phones. Can we help you?
Yes, I am under the impression you have a Mr. or someone who claims to be a Mr. Chalice here.
Oh, yes. We do. Are you a relative?
Yes.
Roll it.
Yep.
Pick up a D20.
Yep.
And I would like you to roll that.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and say...
That is an 18. Plus
Whoa.
something, I'm assuming. What is that
Probably
stat?
minus, I'm going to say.
Minus, what stat do I use for this? Charisma?
This would be spy if you are lying.
Oh, I'm super lying. Oh, so that's +1, actually.
Oh.
So
okay.
19.
So in this game, they kind of mixed some of the stats so that you can be bad at a whole lot of things. And if you're sneaking or doing anything untoward, including lying, that is your spy stat.
Perfect. Yes, I am related to Mr. Chalice, if that is his real name.
The guy standing there only looks up briefly to shrug, goes back to his phone, and then waves you towards the back.
Thank you kindly.
Okay, come on.
And I just stare for a second, uncomfortably so, and just walk.
Yeah, the music of the movie stops when you stand there impassively, and then starts when you walk away again.
Yep.
And they lead you down.
Mm-hmm.
Exterior, the hospital. One last person arrives. How do they arrive?
He's been driving the same thing since the 1980s. Let's face it. Who knows how the hell he keeps that thing running? But this sort of hunched over, just out. It's held together by spite. He just drives in, stops in front of the the spots reserved for disabled people. Looks around.
Like in front of them, like blocking them?
Yeah, like literally stops, looks around, and turns off the car. Door opens with a creak, puts out his cane. Takes a solid 3 minutes of film time getting out of the car. Just slams the door behind him.
Spin that film.
Takes a breath. Starts cursing under his breath as he opens the door again, leans inside, rummages about, pulls out a flip phone, and puts it in his pocket, and then slams the door again, makes his way inside to the front desk, and slams his fist a couple times on the desk.
The woman looks up and, surprised, puts her phone away and says, oh my goodness, dear, are you okay? Susie!
I'm fine,
One
fine,
got
I'm
out
fine.
again. Will, where's your room, sweetheart? Where's your room?
I'm here to see a patient.
Of course you are. Okay.
Listen, I don't have time for this. Just show me where Chalice is.
Oh, you know Chalice. Okay.
Yeah, we're old friends.
Oh, so you're on the ground floor. Charlie, this one's on the ground floor. Yeah. I don't know whose job was that. Yours? Are you high? Come get him. He could bite. Okay. So, and a burly 30-something Asian man with a neck tattoo that says "No Fear," F-E-E-R, comes over with a buzz cut and he's got a orderly's uniform. That shirt is 2 sizes too small, because this may be nifty, but you're still allowed to carry guns. And walks over to you and says, "Come with me, sir. I'll take care of you."
Yeah, right. To Chalice's room. I mean, the guy called me.
Sure he did. It brings you to the back, and you get on the same elevator.
Excellent.
Interior, the hallway with Ms. Chalice, Dr. Chalice. Dr. Chalice has been led to the patient's doorway, past row and row of unwell people, padded rooms adorn as you glance in through the murky windows that are, as I said, grated over so that nothing can pass through. There are slots in the bottom of the doors for food and small personal effects that seem to be stained with various dinners, but nothing else.
Can we hold on for one quick second?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
David, you seem to be... I'm not sure if anyone else has seen this, but your screen seems to be going, like, freezing up every couple of seconds.
Oh, yeah.
You noticing
I'm
that?
seeing that, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I was noticing it. I was just hoping.
You guys have been freezing. Now you guys just froze up.
Yeah, this is just Discord being weird.
Nobody has frozen on me.
Yeah, I see everyone else is fine. It's only yours that seems to be freezing up, dude.
But you're in the center. Did you think that's actually a thing? That's crazy. So...
Wait, now... Okay, now you're fine. Now you're fine. So I don't know what happened.
Always was.
Okay, so...
Just saying.
Go.
Average looks super fine.
Yep.
And you are led, Dr. Chalice, to a room at, of course, the very back of the hall, where one lonely neon light bulb is buzzing and flickering like an irate bug. And the Dr. Green holds up his hand and says, you might have a little difficulty with this if it does turn out to be your father. Are you sure you're prepared?
Probably not, but this is what is demanded of me.
All right. Boom, boom, boom. He knocks on the door with less care that would be becoming of a man who works for a semi-public hospital, and yells, "Mr. Doe, Mr. Chalice, are you awake? We have someone here to see you." And inside there is a and to the rest of you, to most of you, that is just a groan of a man in some distress. But to one of you, that is a distinct answer of, "I really don't want to talk right now. It's kind of hot and a little hungry, and I don't like televisions or people, and also no one comes to visit me." Isn't that right, patient?
You hear from a... Sorry about that. We have a train passing by. So...
Oh, I mean the hospital is right next to a train.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Biggest train that goes through.
Absolutely, yeah. You're coming from the door next to Mr. Chalice's room. You hear a pounding as well that matches the same ferocity and tone of the doctor's pounding, and you hear a voice break through. He doesn't want to take visitors right now. Can I please take a message? I am working as his secretary, Mr. Mr. Dan. I'm sorry, Dan. We're on a first name basis. Mr. Dan does want to remind you to not bring any screens or videos into his room, and he will speak with you when he is ready.
I'm sorry about that, Doctor. This is checks your name, Jeffrey.
George. It's George. A horse.
We only really know him as patient 130. He arrived shortly around the time of your prospective father. Before Mr. and he uses air quotes, Chalice is ready to talk, perhaps you could converse with George.
Yes. Are you family? Are you the little one? Oh man, Dan just won't stop talking. He always likes the ladies. So I can see where your voice sounds very young and youthful. That's very. Hi, George. Nice to meet you. I slam my face against the window. Is there a window on the door, David?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a window, and it's kind of murky, so it goes from nothing to a face real fast.
And it is a disheveled man. Just he has it looks like he's taken a razor to half his face to shave off his like whiskers, hair, and the other half is just a grown mess of just hair and unclean skin.
I look back to Dr. Greenwood. Is this really necessary?
Our people cannot be here 24 hours once the patients have been placed in their rooms for sleeping.
Doctor, I got this covered from Hi. I apologize for my... He's sort of just sent by the... I've been here for quite a while following this case. And we've reached a line of communication that I've seen. I feel that has been helpful to his recovery. So if you have any questions, concerns, comments, food, please direct that towards me.
And I'm sorry, what is your name again?
My name's George. And like I said, I've been your confidant for quite some time. He calls me through the walls all the time. We talk. He talks about his worries, his fears, his hopes, his dreams. And he sings. Your father has a lovely voice.
Doesn't exactly sound like my father.
Oh. So which one of you? He had two, I believe. Yes, 2, 3. Made up head, and now she's dead and gone away, and now she's filled with circuits. But you are one of the two, yes?
Yes, I am Samantha Chalice.
Ah, not the male. Interesting. So, Samantha, tell me. What are you here for? Why are you here to see your father? After all this, he's been waiting for someone to come see him, and the only person he's come to see him is me. Of course, the screen. But I have made it very, very well known that he does not like the screen, so they don't bring the screen around anymore. So, you don't have a screen on you, do you?
No.
Good. That shows that you are a great daughter. Is there any questions that you might want to ask about your father?
How did he end up in New Jersey?
How did I end up in New Jersey? We're in New Jersey? Interesting. The mystery deepens. Your father came quite a fright. I remember it just like yesterday. And he zones out as if he's waiting for the flashback to begin. And it's just a nice, long, awkward 10 seconds before he looks back towards you as if that answered everything.
And we splash cut 2.
Oh.
Splash cut 2. Mr. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
You are going down. You are going down the elevator, and the doors slide. The doors actually stop on a different first. It stops. You're going to the sub basement, the lowest basement. You stop. You are at ground floor. You go to sub basement 1, and the door opens. Bing, shh, and opens up to an immaculately dressed Caucasian woman with a tight ponytail pulled backwards and brilliant green eyes and a smart business suit. And she nods at you.
I nodded
and
her.
then steps inside, and the doors bing close shut. And she says, "Nice day."
Indeed. Bless you.
Thank you. It's allergy season.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is.
And she tries to elbow you in the throat.
Okay, let's do this.
All right. And we cut to roll a d20 for me, Jesus. We cut to old Mr. McGonagall, McGrady, waiting for this damn elevator. Where is this elevator?
Back in my days, elevators would arrive when you told them to arrive. It's not like these newfangled elevators. You press a button, you don't know what's going on. They don't make any noise.
So yeah, back in the back in your day, old man, I wouldn't be able to ride in the elevator with.
Yeah, goes to show.
All right. What am I rolling again?
You were rolling a d20 and you're adding your athletics.
Athletics. My ATH?
Mm-hmm.
That is -2, so it's a 13.
All right. And this totally normal woman going to go at a 17.
Oh, perfect.
And as combat begins, we are at the 28-minute and 30-second mark. Should we take a quick break?
Call it a night. Got it.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Yeah. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Didn't I tell you without your rubbers you'd catch cold? Oh, this kid never cleans his room. Mentholatum deep heating rub. Feel the warmth soak in. You don't feel like a monster now, eh, booby?
Mentholatum deep heating rub. If it can help Frank's cold, it can help yours.
And yeah, old Mr. McCready, that elevator is taking forever, but there are stairs directly to your left that go down.
You know what always works? That's also something that my generation brought to you. And he starts walking towards the stairs.
You want me to come with you? And you look back, and he's on his phone again.
Yeah, I don't even dignify that with an answer. Open the door, start making my slow way down.
Okay. It's many ways down. So then we go to a split screen, a three-way shot.
I'll be back in like half an hour.
The old man coming down the stairs. He's a maniac. Slowly, we have Dr. Chalice speaking with patient 130 as he stares off to the distance as she and Dr. Greenberg were staring at, and it goes through the bars of the window and shows that the patient has drawn the image of a camera and is looking down the lens of the camera dramatically as he remembers something. And then we cut to the third image, which is a freeze frame of the elbow coming up. And the woman is going to attack. She is going to
Alright.
roll her strength. Now
Alright.
you roll your defense. You roll your d20, and then you minus or plus your defense score.
My defense score.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Make it good.
How? Oh, it's gonna be that bad, huh? All right.
She rolled a 19. She has a strength of 3. That is a 22.
All right. Let's do. Nah.
This is combat. This is combat in straight to VHS.
All right. That is 13 plus 6 is 19.
So yeah, you took 3 points of damage.
Yeah. Boom.
So she hits you 3 rapid strikes in the throat, which would kill a person.
Yep.
But she didn't go for the eyes.
No, she did not.
That was her mistake.
That was a mistake.
Every rookie move.
Is it?
But you do hear a clang, clang, clang from her arm.
Mhm.
She hits your robotic throat.
My turn.
Yes.
As she basically she does hit me. She hits me right to the face, and it goes to the left. And I slowly turn my head towards her, and I'm going to use my ability to nonchalantly look at her, just as one action, not take the rest of my actions, and gain 2 epic dice. Die hardly.
That sounds good.
Yep.
All right. So actions in this game are broken down into what's called AP action points. Much like some other games we play, different things cost different points. It's pretty much like every other game we've ever played. If you do something simple like flip a switch or reload your gun, it's less than doing a 6-star dragon strike in midair towards somebody. Tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you how many points it costs and if you have enough to do it. At this point, Jesus is only spending 1 out of a possible
5.
Out of his possible 5 AP. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 4 points left as he looks nonchalantly at the woman who just struck him multiple times in the throat. And now it is your turn. It's still your turn if you only spent 1 AP, unless that takes your entire turn.
All right. Yeah. Sure. I'm going to punch her in the face.
All right. You punch her in the face, and that will.
Yep. And with my epic dice, I can just roll 2d20.
If you spend an epic die, yes.
All right. Sure. I'm going to use that. All right. Let's do this. And this is strength.
Yes.
My strength is perfect. That is going to be a 17.
Okay. Yeah, she rolled a 5.
Yep.
So that's not great for her.
Yep. Is she down?
Yeah. How do you hit? How do you disable her?
I also go for her face and through her face and into the wall behind it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, and she sparks, and you realize that she is absolutely a newer model of you. She does not have the clockwork gears and insufferable squeaking hinges that you do on the inside. And there is a flicker on the lights. Everyone, by the way, starts with 2 epic dice tokens.
Oh, okay.
If I did not say that before, I apologize.
Perfect.
You can spend them for things.
Nice. As I look at this, like, always newer models, cheaper materials. And I take my hand and just wipe my hand on her business suit and wait for the doors to open.
Nice callback.
No,
I like
thank
it.
you. Thank you.
All right, and the force of your punch makes the elevator shudder and strain and flicker, and the lights flicker all the way through the hallway that you are standing in, Dr. Chalice. Old Mr. McGreedy. Sorry. 1 down, multiple floors to go.
What was that?
1 down, multiple floors to go.
Yep.
All right, so back to the 10 minutes. The 10-minute flashback has just ended with you, patient 130.
And that's when I learned to love again.
And the lights flicker.
His eyes immediately dart upwards, and he looks towards the wall to his left, which is your father's, and he says, "What do you think?" "I don't know. That was weird." "Yes, okay, yeah, I will protect her, but I don't want her falling in love with me." And I look back towards the doctor. "That wasn't about you."
Good.
So,
Can we please see the patient? She says to Dr. Greenwood.
Your father is ready to see you now.
Great.
Dr. Greenberg, having witnessed all of that, puts a notebook surreptitiously into his pocket, having observed the patient interacting with a normal person. I will get that Pulitzer yet. Pulitzer.
Pulitzer!
Sorry, I meant Peabody. He knocks on the door a few more times, and there is a inside, just as the door to the elevator in the end of the hallway opens up, and Dr. Greenberg opens the door to the John Doe. And two things happen. There is a man in an immaculate suit with half of a person stuck into a wall in the elevator behind him, stepping out of the elevator, and to the doctor's right, as he is facing you, Dr. Chalice, and opening the door to your prospective father's room, two gloved hands reach out, grab his neck, and swivel his head 180 degrees, killing him immediately. Patient 130, it's all happening again. It's all happening again, but for the first time, totally different time. And that's when after stumbling and falling slightly down, almost activating his lifeline trinket down the last flight of stairs, old Mr. McCready swings the door open and sees all of this, meeting the immaculately dressed Mr. Smith on his way.
What the hell's going on down here?
Dr. Chalice is going to take a couple of stumbling steps backward away from the now dead Dr. Greenberg and gives out a very good Scream Queen scream.
Nice. Take an epic die for your trouble. We get an epic scream from a Scream Queen. Take an epic die. Write it down. All right. I
would have opened with a joke.
Oh my goodness. The hands that have ended the life of Mr. Dr. Greenberg reach over the edge of the doorway, and then a head peers around the corner of the hands are large. The shoulders are large. The arms are large. But the head is of a teenager. And it turns around. It has a Opie-style parted hair in the very center. It has goofy-ass freckles. It couldn't be older than, 16. And it sneers at you with buck teeth and then comes around the corner. All of you see that. Yes.
David, where did these hands come from? I thought they were coming from inside the Mr. Chalice's room. Is that not the case?
They came from inside Chalice's room as if they were going to pull the door closed again. But they come around the corner. They grip the door that has been opened by the doctor, almost as if it's helping the body, the massive body and the small head, around the bend from the door to face Dr. Chalice.
Great. Thank you.
No problem.
Important question. Well, there, as this guy is stepping out, is there behind him, one could say, a fire extinguisher?
What?
A fire extinguisher.
Yes, there can be absolutely a fire extinguisher behind him.
Magnetic pull. I want to pull the magnetic fire extinguisher through him to me.
It's been a hell of a day, Dr. Chalice, and it's about to get weird. As Scream Queen expression, camera closes in on Dr. Chalice's iris. The reflection of the freakish, large teen stumbles towards her, and then there is a rumbling as in the reflection of her eye, the man-child turns around and is struck with a fire extinguisher that flies of its own volition into the man-child and ignites, immediately coating the entire area in chalky white powder, who then stumbles around, and there is the sound of punching and of walls being caved in and broken down. And the last one is it stumbles right through your door, patient 130 as you step aside and this massive creature comes crashing down through your wall.
Oh, thank you. About time you got here. Please make sure to babysit the spider lady in the corner, and I'll be back at 8. Thank you. Walk right through, and I see Dr. Chalice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dr. Chalice. Hello. Hi, I'm George. We should be going right now, or should you want to see your father still?
We should leave. And I turn towards the elevator where I see a person half embedded in the wall.
Yep. And coming, I mean, where am I in position? Because I'm assuming I'm the one that beat to near death or death this teenage-headed creature.
You are at the end of the hallway, walking towards the creature itself, and there is once again a moan of.
David, I am going to peek into the room of Dan Chalice. I've never seen this man. We've known each other a couple decades, but I want to look in, see what's in the room.
An extremely fuckable 70-year-old man is what he. You got to watch the original, guys. You got to watch the. It's wild. Yep. Dan Atkins had a crazy career, and still has. It's still working. Good for you. And as the dust particles and the fire extinguisher smoke parts, you see inside Dan Chalice has his arms have been broken, and it looks like he was trying to fight off whatever this creature was. And there is a sink in his room, which means that he was trusted not to try to kill himself. And the sink has been ripped out, and it seems that someone has used the hole, the plumbing that sink necessitates, to create a hole to climb into his room and attack him.
I'm going to take hold of Dr. Chalice. Samantha Chalice, and pull her into the room with her father. And then I'm going to...
Crazy old coot?
Well, do you really want to go towards the body in the elevator or the body in the hole, I say as I point towards the hole. And then I also point towards, I realize I'm being rude and say, oh, Samantha, your father, Samantha.
And you look down and it's old and it's emaciated, but he has your eyes. And I mean... yeah, he looks like he could probably get some action from the other patients.
Even without seeing them, apparently.
Yep.
And turn the corner as you're getting close. You see...
Meanwhile...
yeah.
Oh, so right. Yes, sorry. If I'm ruining a moment, I'm sorry.
I was going to say that Mr. McCready, in the meantime, saw all of this, closed the door, and is making his way back upstairs. Nope.
Wrong floor.
Yep. Right way.
But before you do, Mr. McCready, hear
gone.
All of you here.
Spend a dime.
You're not a black man, Mr. McCready. You're staying right where you are to die.
We should explain why that joke works.
Watch the movie.
Watch the movie.
Ladies and gentlemen, the only person to do the most realistic thing in the first Halloween 3 season of The Witch was the only black character in it, and did the most real. I mean, it was genre savvy. And that's why none of you are his kids or him, because they stay the fuck out.
Yep.
They're fine. They're fine running a gas station.
They moved to New York City. They've got some great jobs going. It's fine.
Yeah. It was the 80s. They bought a brownstone for super cheap. They're fine now. All right. So, and before you leave, Mr. McCready, all of you hear echoing from the John Doe's room is Sam.
Dr. Chalice turns towards Dr. Chalice.
Samantha, I'm sorry.
Too little, too late.
Well, my kept you safe at least. It's happening again, Sam. It's too late for me. But they're going to do more. And old Mr. McCready, you recognize that voice clear as a whistle.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you, Mr. Smith, as you were once tasked with killing it. And
times.
patient 130, very fuckable voice.
And Mr. Smith turns a quarter to the door and looks down. Dr. Chalice.
Yes.
Other.
Yes.
Yes.
You became a doctor.
I just want to say everybody's very chill. Very chill about this right now.
Proud of you. And he coughs up some blood.
You don't
Oh yeah, he's like broken. Should we like be trying to help him? My character absolutely having no medical training whatsoever or instincts. He's just trying to straighten out to get him comfortable. If anybody wants to help him, that'd probably be best.
Yeah, I step forward. First off, I go like, I look oddly at Samantha for a second, and I look at Doctor's, and I get into Dr. Chalice's, the old man's visual range. Dr. Chalice.
No! No! You already tried, you son of a bitch! I'll bite your ears off!
I have no intention of hurting you, Dr. Chalice. I am curious. My master, is he dead?
You mean Cochrane?
Yes.
I don't know. All I know is someone's coming for me again.
Interesting.
I know too much. I know too much from all of the things I've done and seen that people I've slept with. Just all coalesces into this massive library of bone.
You must know, Dr. Chalice, I have no intention of completing my primary mission of eliminating you. I aim to kill, if he is still alive, Dr. Cochrane.
Then... all right. And old McCready, are you still standing there like, looking at the door, looking at the hallway?
Basically, yeah. He's hasn't decided yet if he's got a dog in his fight or not. Hey, you started him out. He's a coward.
Yep. But they're going to do it again. And they're going to hurt more people. It's not TV this time. It's not masks. It's something else. Something bigger. But what's bigger than TV?
And this is when old man Mr. McCready comes in the door. We've got to kill the internet.
Holy shit, McCready, is that you?
You old bastard.
Oh, do you look old as hell? Sorry, Sam. This is the man who turned off the broadcast that saved your life.
You're welcome, kid.
Sam, they said in 82, they said that it was seizures. Seizures that caused those children to die. It wasn't. It was something else. I tried to warn your mom, but she wouldn't listen to me. Said I was a bastard. She was right. I need a motorcycle. Sam, that thing. It told me before it broke both my arms. But not my jaw, my sweet, sweet jawline. Some man, he said that it's a blood curse. They're not going to let us go. They're going to start with my children. And you and Timothy are my children. Grady.
Is there anyone else I need to be worried for?
Well, he just look on his face like. I mean, you could try 23 or Me. It's a new era. So, 23 or Me is that one where you just immediately decide who to kill of your new family.
123-year-old or...
Oh, do you have the number of a 23-year-old?
That's a little old for you.
No. No worries. They're older than they look. It's fine. It's fine. All right.
George.
Oh, now you acknowledge me. Hi. I've been standing here trying to fix your...
I know you're trying to fix my arm. Please stop helping. Oh,
Well,
George.
there's no other doctor in the room, apparently.
You take that back.
Hint.
It's my daughter you're talking about.
I'm just waiting for her to go.
It's been a long time. She's mulling it over.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a surgeon, not a bone doctor.
What?
I'm not a chiropractor.
Stop helping. Stop helping, she says to George. And she's going to look at his arms, and also, I mean, he's bleeding from the mouth, and that does not seem like an injury that goes, or a symptom that goes along with broken arms.
Oh, I'm bleeding from the mouth because they hit me so hard in the stomach. Oh, the arms are an arm thing. It's the stomach thing. Are you a stomach doctor or an arm doctor? I mean, you are a lady doctor, so I mean, let's. Ooh, tough crowd. Oh, God. Sam, I don't think I'm going to make it because the seat doesn't call for it. Listen, you've got to try to stop Cochran. I don't know if it's him, but it sounds a lot like him. Robots. I know it's a lot to take in.
If that is the case, then I will accompany you. And I turn towards Samantha. Come with me and you might live.
I'm going to need something better than that.
Fine. If there is violence, I will most likely die first.
That'll do. Samantha.
Where do we find this?
I was staying in a hotel room before they found me. It's in New York. It was years ago. But I had paid off most of it. Means the hotel owner, very nice lady. She said she would always have a room for. So she probably has my things. I had collected some evidence that would prove what I'm saying is true. I didn't bring it with me when I called someone from the New York Times. Told them I knew what happened to those kids. They didn't believe me, but they said they'd meet me on the docks. I left it there as a safekeeping. St. Joseph's, First Avenue. Just gotta get there. It should be there. Just ask for Janine. She'll be in the 80s, so she'll be what, 40 now?
So what is the era right now?
What's
like, is it?
It's 2020.
2020.
It is 2020 in October. It is October 29th. I don't know if y'all are picking that up.
Yep.
Okay.
I figured Michael Myers was about to make a cameo.
Mm-hmm. And
So
his
it's good.
eyes, Dr. Chalice's, former Dr. Chalice's eyes start to flutter, and he would reach to you, Sam, with broken arms, but his arms, his fingers just twitch, and he says, "I'm sorry, Sam. I should have been a better father, but at least I can be a plot device." and his eyes close, and he departs this mortal realm.
Dad? And Dr. Chalice just kind of takes a moment, and she looks around to everyone else in the room. In a ornery old man, a crazy old man, and a very nondescript man of some age. Do any of you believe him?
Well,
yes.
I was there when it happened.
So was I. All right, give me a second. He starts pulling out his flip phone. Hits 0 a couple times. Operator, I need the number for the hello, operator. I need the number for the internet.
And Jamie Lee Curtis's voice comes out and says, "If you'd like to make a call, please hang up the call again."
I got that.
That was Jamie Lee Curtis's
newfangled
voice
technology.
as the operator for the first.
I wondered.
Yeah, I walk over to the body of the giant robot with the tiny teenager head. Like, is it like, is it similar to the bottle I crushed the head of in the elevator?
It looks like it is similar, but hastily thrown together. Explaining the head.
Strange. I take off the head, and I look down inside of it. Shoddy workmanship.
Newer wiring, but shoddy.
No wonder it's Apple. Ugh, I had to put it down. All right.
So McCready and Dr. Chalice, you just saw him take a head off, and it turns out to be goo inside. George. Yep. Knew it all along.
Mondays, am I right?
We should.
I know what that was.
The lights flicker again, and there is rumbling from inside the hole that leads out of Dr. Chalice's room, and you hear the distinct sounds of leathered hands climbing up pipes.
We should go.
Yes, we should absolutely go. Absolutely.
I'm already on.
1 second, and I'm going to go over towards the doctor, Dr. Robertson, you said? Body's still there?
Greenberg.
Dr. Greenberg, yep.
Greenberg, yeah, and I'm pulling off his coat, and I'm throwing it on top of mine, also taking his tie and trying to hastily put it on, and I'm just going to be following, and then I'm just going to be walking to the elevator, since I need to disguise myself a little bit to make my way out of here.
You look just like Dr. Greenberg, a black man.
That's why I'm hastily leaving. Proper decision here.
Yeah, no, this is Hitman. You can look like anybody just by putting on the suit.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, so
I just want to point out, I have my perk is like, I'm a master of disguise.
You are. No, it's going to work.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Because this is a movie, so it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I'm not trying to look like Dr. I'm just trying to look like a doctor.
Yeah. Yep. No, it's fine. It's fine.
So
go ahead.
You look down and you see the tails of the coat of old Mr. McCready walking steadily, hobbling into the stairwell. Oh, do you take the stairwell or do you take the elevator now, Mr. McCready?
Well, he was going for the elevator, and then he saw the corpse embedded in the wall, and it just turns around and starts going for the stairs.
All right.
Now, I'm following him as well.
Does anyone stay behind as the leathered hand gloves start to... You hear the sound of mortar and of insulation being pulled apart from the hole as it widens, and then behind you, you hear of a sink that is completely dislodged from the wall and thrown against the opposing wall.
Are we still in the former Dr. Chalice's room? Or do we leave
no, you are moving.
Okay, yeah.
I assumed you were moving.
Okay, yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
In some fashion.
I think we should move up the stairs. I'll be behind in case.
Oh, yeah.
I suggest running. The old man, can you run?
Shut up!
He drops the cane and just breaks into a sprint.
Well, like, McCready obviously has a head, like at least a minute or two head start on us, and then when the younger Dr. Chalice comes in, like 2 seconds in, she's running, and she's already run into him.
Oh yeah,
yep.
Already caught up.
You all run upstairs and burst through into the lobby. of the psychiatric hospital. I believe it's called Collins Psychiatric Hospital, and it is quiet, dead quiet.
Follow me. I know exactly where to go. I've been here for many years, and I'm going to navigate them to the quickest way outside the parking lot.
Which shouldn't be too hard, considering that everyone is lying on the floor.
Oh.
Still.
Nap time.
No, lying on the floor.
Take a point.
Yeah.
That was great.
Dr. Chalice is going to kneel next to somebody and feel for a pulse.
There is no pulse.
I can assure you they are all dead. They are very thorough. If they're anything like my model.
Except for one thing, Jesus. Their models are not de-eyeballogularing people. That is swiveling.
That is some bullshit. That is some... I'm ranting. It's like, look at... Not even take... never mind.
Everyone's head has been one...
Are vastly superior.
Oh, you shut up! You shut up!
Less wasteful. All right, and you follow patient 130 bursting out into the parking lot where you see... what is your car, old McCready?
I'm going to say...
A Lincoln! A Lincoln!
Yes, a Lincoln. There we go.
Okay, concede 18.
Yes.
All right.
Only ever seats one.
And you see modern day cars, and then you see a car that's clearly driven by the tall man from Phantasm. Yeah, you all stumble out. None of you took cars there, however. And you hear old Mr. McCready jingling with some keys in his pocket.
You have a car?
Of course I have a car. Who doesn't have a car? Here we go.
You kids with your Ubers.
Yeah, we're gonna follow Mr. McCready then. Just he seems to know where to go.
Yep.
Get in the car.
Yep.
You hop inside the car, and you have of where you have to go. You have a destination of St. Joseph's Inn on First Avenue in Manhattan.
Okay, I know everybody's response. I know their first response would be to call the cops, but I just want to point something out really quickly. There is a lot of dead people behind us, and there's a lot of weird things behind us, and we're the only ones who escape the weird things. Now, the thing you must know about the weird thing is the weird things always find a way to interact and combine themselves with the cops. The cops are like robots, but with flesh. And but the things that Dr. Cochran told me about could look like them and be them. So we can't go to the cops or the Piggly Wiggly or anything that might recognize our faces, because they will take our face and place it with circuits.
Correct.
We only have one choice. We must do what my best friend wanted us to do and find out what's going on. But first things first, what is the internet?
And with that, we're going to cut to commercial. Please enjoy a word from our sponsor.
Oh, what a beautiful day for Frankenberry, the world's super sweet new cereal.
Phooey! Here's the world's super sweet new cereal called Chocula.
Bertel, I've got berry-flavored sweeties for monstrous strawberry flavor.
Well, I've got chocolate sweeties for monstrous chocolate flavor.
Frankenberry
Called Chocula.
Meow. Frankenberry
Called Chocula.
Thank you very much for our sponsor for that lovely ad. Like to keep the lights on. So, all of you were speeding away with the breakneck horsepower of a 1979 Lincoln.
Speeding away is a strong phrase. I'm going to say I'm probably going a solid 5 miles under the speed limit at all times.
Well, when you get rid of all the safety features, that
He turns on the blinkers 3 blocks before he's going to turn.
I just looked up a 1979 Lincoln Continental, and it is a choice ride.
Yes.
The beast of a car. Mm-hmm. All right. And we cut to New York City, a stereotypical New York City street that could be in 2020 or 1982. It's always got graffiti. It's always got the rap music. And it's always got, just trash and everything. and the Lincoln Continental pulls up, and in lieu of finding a space, kind of pops up on the curb and then puts out its disabled card.
Handicap tags?
Yeah, he's got them.
He flips through them. Disabled. Yeah, guys. That's the problem you have most with my plot so far. All right, and you pull up to St. Joseph's Hotel. It's a rundown beater of a place. Its sign is vertical and reaches up and ends in a cross because it's a religious institution. Why would you imply otherwise? That is why the late Dr. Chalice was shacking up with the owner and proprietor for free room and board, just like Jesus. So, and there's a doorway with a buzz and a grate over it. We've all seen it before. It's like 3 doors in one. It is not a great look. Who goes first?
Not me.
Dr. Chalice.
First. Oh, Dr. Chalice, and I'll follow behind you.
All right.
Dr. Chalice goes up. Buzz.
And I'm looking around.
Who is it? A woman's voice.
Samantha Chalice.
Come in. Bzzz. Door is unlocked.
And like Dr. Chalice has to basically put her whole body into lugging this thing open, and I'm sure there's like a screech as rusty hinges protest at it opening.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you all enter into a dingy, dimly lit hallway. There is a at one point, I'm sure, sensual red carpet that is many years past its prime. Probably belongs more on the floor of the Continental that you just got out of. And far ahead, there's a stairway that goes up. There are doors left and right, and on your immediate left is a counter that is behind perforated bulletproof glass. And there is a woman in her 50s that is 50s with elegantly graying hair, and she's an African American woman with a button-down blouse and a pencil skirt, and she is furiously scribbling into a pad and then looking over at a computer and then looking at a phone and then a tablet. You
Hello?
said she storms up to the glass and gets real close. What'd you say your name was?
Dr. Samantha Chalice.
You ain't by any chance related to a Dan Chalice, are you?
I am.
Was recently deceased.
He died today.
Danny died?
Violently.
Yes.
Good. Good. I'm glad that son of a bitch is dead. I am glad that son of a bitch is dead. Do you know what kind of mess he left me with? Just disappearing into the night all of a sudden? Unbelievable. I trusted that man. I thought we had something. But no. He just disappeared, left all of his stuff like I was going to hold on to it like some sort of war maid. Just hoping that Johnny comes home. Nope. No siree. Not me. Are you here to collect his stuff? I've still got it.
Yes, I'm here to collect his effects.
Damn sorry to hear about your father. Sorry about the son of a bitch parts, sweetie.
No, it's accurate.
She rummages around in the back and then goes into a closet, pulls down a box, and then takes out a small leather backpack, and then opens up a compartment, like a slide up compartment so that she can slide things across the table without you being able to get at it with a knife or anything. Slides it across the desk and then shuts it. Damn shame, sweetie. He could have been a good man. But sometimes men just go bad. Stay bad. But that face, though. That face, though. The face?
He had a face. He had a face.
He certainly did.
And did he love to sing? Am I right? I'm part of this conversation. His effects, please.
They're in the bag there, sweetheart.
Oh, look at that. It's in a bag. The cat's out of the bag now.
And then you hear a bling, 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 bling of all of her electronics behind her. And she said, sorry, sweetie, email. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, thank you. And Samantha takes the bag out of the little drawer. And is it heavy? Like, how full does this bag feel?
It feels pretty full. It feels pretty full. It's got a couple of, feels like books and maybe some metal objects.
So she hoists the bag and will walk back to the good old Lincoln.
This is what I think we should do. We should leave the bag here, call the New York Times, and meet them on a dock, explaining that we know something and that they were trying to kill it. We can phrase it as, we know the truth behind 1982 seizure attacks on the children. That worked well for your father. Maybe not as well as he thought it would be, but I really think it deserves a plan B, a second try.
How about we leave that as plan B? Let's first look at what was in here.
I like the way you think. Did that brat just have a piece of pizza?
There's a very large slice.
Yeah, so on his way out from the hotel, Mr. McCready just kind of raps on the bulletproof gas with his cane a couple times. Stuff will rot your brain, you know. Just shut that all down, and then just makes his way out.
She just shakes her head and goes back to her screens.
I tried.
Last shot as you all walk off is the camera fixating on her, and as she sits down in front of her various electronics, the glow makes her skin look positively blue as she looks at all of the alert. Not foreshadowing. And you are in the car, and you open up Dr. Chalice's, the late Dr. Chalice's bag. Horn! No. It's
if there is a VHS tape in there, like a homemade one, I'm not watching it.
No, it says Ghostbusters.
Nope.
Do not watch.
Nope.
It says Ghostbusters, all female version.
Don't get excited now.
I don't think he was a man before his time.
Well, apparently he was, since I don't think Ghostbusters was around in '82. Isn't that an '84 film?
That's a good point. Robots, though.
Robots, yeah.
Robots. Maybe that's why he got killed. He got screwed out of that sweet, sweet Ghostbusters money. Inside is a journal that is hastily scribbled. Only a few pages are filled out. It seems like a new journal. And your father's chicken scratch, being a doctor, is reprehensible. There's his old watch that you remember he always wore, and it was silver and gold timepiece with a diamond stud on the top. There is a bottle of half-drunk whiskey from 1980 something. You can only imagine. Probably a good vintage. And finally, a book on programming. A book on programming, and specifically flipping through it, it seems to be a book on Pac-Man. On how to program games like Pac-Man. And the scribblings you find in the book, the one that you can discern best involves the following. Can't understand how they will pull it off, but I can't see any other way out. TV didn't work, and so now they're going to have to try to do something different. If I'm right, then they're going to have a much bigger audience. Kids in California weren't enough. Kids in America won't be enough. Kids all over the world is what's going to have to happen. If the dark circle closes, then we're never, ever going to have anything but Halloween. Sam Wen will be the least of our worries. The fairies are coming. What was that noise?
Did he write, what is that noise?
Mm-hmm. Everyone knows that's a normal thing to do.
Yeah, that's just how you journal.
After that, he spelled out
Until his pen just kind of trails off.
That's how I write every journal entry of my own. I always end them with "What was that noise?"
one of my it's one of my favorite tropes in any media whatsoever. So you have that.
Does anyone know what the dark circle would be?
That is actually would I know what the dark circle is, or am I just a David?
Sorry, y'all are gonna have to repeat that because y'all flickered out like there was a fight between robots just now.
I asked if anyone would know what the dark circle is.
Yeah, and would I know what the dark circle is?
Everybody roll intelligence for the dark circle. And
does this count as research?
It does count as research, and you're all researching in Dr. Chalice's book and in the book in front of you, trying to discern what the hell it actually says because his handwriting is so terrible.
Since it has to do with, since you mentioned Pac-Man and programming, can I include my robotics, my computer forte?
You absolutely can.
Thank you.
Can I include my electronics?
You absolutely can. That gives you 2.
Yep.
So that's 3d20 for Dan. Looking at your character, I
also have robotics. Does that give me an extra one as well, or am I pushing?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not a robot.
18. Yeah, 18 and nat 20.
I have to decide between 2 nat 20s and a... So,
wow, which one's prettier, I guess.
Yeah.
So 26. My intelligence...
Oh, right, forget to include intelligence. 1 second. Yep.
I was happy with my 17.
All right, so my intelligence is -5, so 15, but it wasn't at 20.
But a nat 20 still gives you... So nat 20s are called a lucky, and nat 1s are called a tough break. Now, for everybody who rolled a nat 20... Dan, what'd you roll?
12.
Okay. For everybody who rolled a nat 20, mark that off of your requirements. Just put a little check on a piece of paper for requirements for changing the script. Now all you have to do is show weakness by rolling your worst stats for something important.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Dan, Dark Circle sounds like rap music.
Yeah, no. I don't like it. In fact, just out of instinct, I make sure the windows are up.
Do you lock the door, but only when somebody starts walking by the car?
Oh yeah, of course. I wait for that, so they know.
They know. I know.
I rolled a 17 or 15, and then with my intelligence, I have a 17. David.
Okay, Dark Circle actually is a band. It is a metal band, and it is a local metal band that very much likes to engage in the mystic arts on their stage tours and whatever. But you've treated people from their shows before, and when they're in California touring, and it's usually just a bunch of douches punching each other.
Got it.
Doing God's work, I guess. All right. Yeah, nat 20s. All right, so let's start with Mr. Roboto.
Yes.
So the nat
Are they like Metallica, the good stuff or the bad stuff?
They are known as Keltcore.
Keltcore.
Yes, you see in the book that you are reading, it's less about the book itself and more about who used to own it. Because the person who used to own it, it's a public library book, and the person who used to own it only checked out the name under Thorgasm, and they just one name, and they have marked a lot of things in the sides of the paragraphs, mostly having to do with programming for Pac-Man and Jetpack and other side-scrolling video games. And also there's a lot of numeric play. There's a lot of random numbers and mathematics that you quickly whiz through. And not only do you realize that this Thorgasm had something to do with Dr. Chalice's affliction, but he also had something to do with the Dark Circle. And you realize as a bonus that the Dark Circle is a term for a old Celtic order of witches and warlocks that believed that it was possible to worship the fairies and get on their good side in order to gain power. But your former master was a different sort and believed that technology was the method for which you can gain power, and utilized robots and electronics in order to do so. The Dark Circle inherently did not like Mr. Cochran. Number 20 for Billy. All of that stuff. And you also remember reading about, hearing about, it's a little muddled up in your head, that people who believe in this Celtic nonsense are also deathly afraid of certain materials, and silver is one of them, which might explain why, when he had virtually nothing else, the good doctor never got rid of his silver wristwatch. And you also know that you also know through the mathematics of the book that there is there are a sequence of numbers that are actually a longitude and latitude in the back of the book.
So my character is just flipping through the book nonchalantly. Finally, he pauses, looks towards Sam. Everybody else is kind of doing their own research or rolling up their windows. We're all kind of doing this research in a Lincoln on a street, a side street.
It's up on the curb.
Yeah, and just lazily he looks to his left, which is where Dr. Sam is. He says, "You know, it's interesting. Your father spoke a lot to me about you, and he always follow in his footsteps. He talked about how smart you were. Do you see that watch over there?
Yeah.
He always spoke about how it was his lucky charm, and that he wanted you to have it. You should keep that. Keep it. He didn't have much good going for him, but he said that the good that did happen was because of the wristwatch."
They probably showed it to the nurses in order to get him to go to the break room with him.
No, he got it from your mom. He threw away a lot of the things in the divorce, so he says. Maybe that was the one thing he wanted to keep. You should keep that. Also, Dark Circle, crazy people, and there's I believe this behind on this page right here is the letters are actually a code for a longitude and longitude. And I write those down. I don't know what those are, but that is definitely a code. I know. I'm very good at codes. I used to talk codes if you're following.
Indeed. It may be related to this Dark Circle. The former cults may be related to the new band. Especially with the name Thorgasm.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that libraries still kept cards in them for people to check out.
Is
like that?
Notebook?
Is Thorgasm a common name among humans? I mean, people like us?
Well, that's my niece's name. But it's Romanian.
David, and I'm putting in those longitude and latitude numbers since it is 2020.
No.
Yep. My dad was Mr. Thorgasm, please.
Of the gasms, yes.
Yes, it is 1020. It locks down into Santa Mira, California, somewhat south of Los Angeles, where you live. Santa Mira seems very familiar to you, Mr. Smith.
Ah, interesting. It starts where it began, where I was created. And where your father burned it down. As far as I know.
That's where Dad was, a couple of hours down the road.
Yes. He saved many... Well, many lives. Not all of them, sadly.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. Some could say he was a very sexy hero.
But could we not? In this car? Could we not?
It's that face. That face.
Yes, as we've established, he had a face.
True.
I have a question.
Mm.
First of all, why are the windows up? Second of all,
he does not like black people.
Hey, I never said that.
But as the black person was walking by, you put up the windows. That would indicate you. Yeah, another person walked by, you locked it. That would, you know what? Never mind.
I'm going to press the button that says fast in this conversation. Beep. Thank you. Secondly, I know why the doctor's child came, and I understand why Mr. Smith arrived. Why did you go to visit the doctor? How did you know about him?
He called
me.
Man. I think he called me.
You're not allowed access to phones.
We're not allowed access to phones. I've tried making many phones.
Listen, have you met the man? Probably gave those eyes to some nurse. Got her to give him his phone. Either way, he called me just like he did last time for help shutting all this down.
He wanted you to shut down what? The TVs again?
Whatever was happening.
The man gets his hands on a phone and he calls you.
Yeah, we're old friends.
Where'd you meet?
I never actually met the guy.
Okay.
Glad to know that those priorities are still in order. Right. So it seems like our best bet is to follow these coordinates. David, I also would like to Google the band's touring schedule.
It happens to go right by Santa Mira. Santa Mira, however, for as long as you've been in Los Angeles, Dr. Chalice, it's been a ghost town. There was some sort of accident there in the 80s. Nobody's really picked it up since.
I mean, the band, they're going to be in SoCal. They're not playing in Santa Mira. There's nothing there. But sounds like there, and she turns to Mr. Smith. Sounds like there once was something there. So if there was something, maybe there's still elements there, something that they could bring back if it was in the wrong person's hands.
It was a place of power. That's why Dr. Cochran did his experimentations there. That's why he took Stonehenge there. Or at least a piece of it.
I knew it!
Dr. Chalice, this insanity is almost too much to bear. It's been quite a hell of a day.
Yes.
And as you look down, you notice that there's the touring schedule of the Dark Circle and Thorgasm, and you realize that based on the dates, they actually make a complete circle around all of the possible venues that surround Santa Mira.
Huh.
Going out of their way to place small podunk places and then high visibility areas in larger towns. It would be like the Rolling Stones going to play somebody's bar mitzvah.
Kardashians. Wait, no. They're not Jewish. I'm sorry. I was
They're
just thinking
rich.
of
They'll do whatever they want.
Yeah, if they want a bar mitzvah, they'll get one.
And this is true. This is true.
I think one of them just asked for a bar and then sneezed, and then the father was like, all right.
look at this. I pull up the map on my phone and I start pointing out the tour locations, and pointing out this circle. And I pull up the notebook again. What did Dad's notes say? If the dark circle closes, what if that's, and then she like hears herself and she's looks at this car full of crazy people. It's contagious. It's catching.
The circle closes, the ritual is complete, and whatever they're performing will commence. And according to the notes, it will not only affect the children in California or America, but perhaps worldwide. Millions of children may die once this circle is complete. Inconvenient.
From a shitty local band playing half a dozen shows?
The largest things can happen from the smallest and most pathetic things, if it's done right.
So I told my ex-wife, but she never believed me.
I see why you and Dad were friends.
And then, as you put the book down, the page randomly opens to... The page opens to one random page that, when flipped upside down, you see the number 19 over and over and over. And Mr. Smith, you realize, as you mentioned, that there was a piece of Stonehenge that was stolen. Samantha, being a studious person, you actually did write a paper on this once long ago. The theft of Stonehenge, the blue stone that was in the center of Stonehenge, went missing in 1981 and was thought to have been stolen away by vandals or destroyed or by a rich collector. But you do remember that the story behind the stone was that it calculated the lunar calendar, which resets every 19 years. That would be 19 years again tomorrow night was when your father disappeared.
'19 is the lunar calendar that Stonehenge calculated. And tomorrow is 19 years since, or it's a number divisible by it since
28.
Thank you. Since anyone last saw my dad, apparently, as she points to McCready, someone heard from him since then, between then, but that's the last time we saw him. So I hate to say it, but I think there's something here. Or it could be crazy. It could be crazy.
You are...
But I have a leave of absence from the hospital, so might as well check it out.
Correct. And it is not crazy. You are literally sitting next to a robot.
You're
completely cut out there.
What?
It sounded very dramatic and then it completely cut out.
Yep. Yeah, I got that too.
Okay. So I don't know what happened there, but am I okay now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it is not crazy. You are literally sitting next to a robot. You are fine. Now let's go stop a ritual that could end the world.
Once again, he cut off.
Son of a bitch.
I really like to think, is this your robot, like, you're malfunctioning?
You actually did. You got like hit in the throat like 3 times. So
I think robot world save.
I think I know what you're trying to say there, Mr. Smith, and I totally agree. I do want to say, if I am flying, I this class.
And with that, there is a establishing shot of going towards a airport, most of you going through airport security, and somehow the wily patient 130 slipping onto the tarmac of his own malicious or mischievous inventions, and you all board a small plane headed towards California. And with that, we are going to enact we are going to cut to commercial, but when we return, we will go to the thrilling conclusion of, I almost said Halloween 3, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch Part 2, The Dark Circle. and we will enact my favorite part of this game system, the montage.
Woo. All right.
But first,
And-
a word from our sponsor.
Premiering tomorrow morning at 10:30, 9:30 Central.
All right. Thank you very much for viewing that message from our sponsor. We thank you very much for our sponsor. If you would like to sponsor this show, that's weird. So, so we are now enacting the montage. The montage is the part of the straight to VHS role-playing system that epitomizes the fun and insanity of these games, and that is, you are going to describe to me during this flight to California what in your seat, as you go to the bathroom, as you march around the cabin, how do you prepare for whatever California might have in store for you? And with that, you can add stats to your character. You can add, you can, everybody think about what your montage is. And the stats are really, it's kind of a, it's a thing.
Alrighty then. So if we're just making up a scene right now?
You're just thinking up a montage.
Okay.
Right now, my character is scribbling on the back of a napkin, the dark circle, over and over again, and then he pauses, and then he places a 1 next to the dark circle, and then a 1 next to that, and then he leans over and reaches into the backpack that our good doctor is clearly still clutching her father's backpack, and he pulls out.
Good try.
I mean, there's a role for that.
No, and he's going to pull out the programming book, and he's going to go through it. And anytime he sees like binary 1 0 0 0, he's just going to kind of highlight with a black pen. So he's basically making a hypothesis. The dark circle is utilizing binary.
Nice. I love it. Now you can up any of your any 3 stats by 1. Just spend 3 points on your stats. Go nuts.
Great.
And you choose an epic dice token. And you get an epic dice token.
Nice.
You should also get a perk, but we don't have that kind of time. But for listeners or viewers at home, this is basically how you level up in this game. All right. Anyone else like a montage?
Okay, so there is a scene right outside of the airplane bathroom door where there's these 2 people, a man and a woman, just listening in, and one of the guy goes to the door, is like, someone's in the Mile High Club, as they clearly hear what sounds like the yells and screams of a man and a woman. And as it zooms in, it's actually an image of Mr. Roboto, Mr. Smith, but his head, his brain case is removed, and there's circuitry inside. And what is his hand is when he punched through the head of the female robot, he had taken out some pieces that he's trying to analyze and place within his own systems. But it's inadvertently basically making him say random noises that are both male and female because he's integrating the female portions of the brain. So he's like, for like 20 minutes. And then 20 minutes later, the door opens and only Mr. Smith comes out by himself.
But he's 3 stats higher, gets an epic dice token, and he's in touch with his feminine side.
Yes, I
am. Anyone else? God, that was horrifying.
Right?
I mean, imagine what the stewards think. Like the flight attendants think. You walk out and they're like, "Well, okay, miss, we got it," and it's empty. They're like, they just look at the toilet in horror. Whoever.
Dr. Chalice, she is having multiple drinks again. You just see the flight attendants coming by multiple times, and each time they're switching out another glass of gin and tonics. So she's having a very nice flight and doesn't seem to notice the shenanigans happening in the bathroom. And she is just poring over her dad's journal, like page by page, the like 5 pages that have been completed, and she is trying to parse it and make sense in the latter pages that were still blank. So she's continuing her father's crazy ramblings in her own Dr. Chicken Scratch.
I love it. Okay, 3
I
points
must
and
say,
an epic die token.
for Mr. McCready, in between everybody else's scenes, such as very short scenes of him, and the first one is just kind of like a glass of water gets placed upon him, and then just slams down a handful of pills, and starts taking his blood pressure medication.
He's gonna make it to the last part of this game, right?
Yes. He's just taking all his medications. Cut. Next one is him haranguing one of the flight attendants about how back in my days, they used to have good uniforms, not this that you have these days. Cut to the last one where he's just like, just snoring loudly.
It's a hell of a montage. 3 points and an epic die, I guess.
Oh my god.
All right. And exterior shot once again of a plane as the landing gear comes out and touches down on the tarmac, and the text across the screen says Los Angeles, California, Halloween. And you are all whisked out into lovely Los Angeles airport. I don't know what it's even called. O'Hare, maybe? I don't know. I heard that was it. And no, that's Heathrow. That's it. Hello to our British listeners. And you are all waiting outside for the rented car that I'm going to guess old Mr. McCready actually sprung for.
Yeah, sure.
Well, because in your gear, if you'll notice, you have a whole lot of money right there.
Ah, yes, $700 in drug money from the 1980s. Specifically says on my sheet.
That you invested very well.
Yep. All right.
More drugs.
And you all pile into a, we're going to call it a Subaru.
Lincoln.
It's like,
he goes for the Lincoln again.
So it's like a Lincoln, but it's like a SUV style Lincoln. So nice.
Sure.
And you all drive off towards Santa Mira. It is, you get out to the middle of nowhere, 10 miles down this road, 10 miles down this next, take a right at this, at the sticks in the ground. It's maybe back in the 80s, there was more around, but even a lot of the farms have closed up shop. A lot of the animals are no longer there. And you pass by finally, as the sun starts to get lower in the sky, you pass by an old, rusted, dirty sign that says "Welcome to Santa Mira, home of Silver Shamrock masks, Silver Shamrock Corporation." And you enter into what can only be described as what looks like a dollhouse town that has been left unattended. It's immaculate in its construction, and it looks like it's barely been lived in, and then it was left to the sands and wind and dust of Southern California for 30-40 years. And off in the distance there is a large, what looks like skeletal structure of what once might have been some sort of factory.
Oh, this is the Santa Mira. Yes, your father spoke. This is where he and your mother met.
Nope. Nope.
She was 20, he was 45.
You know that math doesn't work, right?
No, I don't know anything at this point.
As we drive past the sign saying "Home of Silver Shamrock Corporation," Dr. Chalice starts singing under her breath, completely like she's not conscious of doing it. She's going, 4 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 4 more days till Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Take an epic die point.
Nice.
I love the callback. I love the call.
Immediately drive the car into a wall. Nope.
She ain't bugs now. She will be. And you creep up, and you notice that in the distance, someone seems to be raising what looks like a circus tent in the center of that blown out husk of a building in the center of the city or town, as it were. And long sticks are being hoisted into the air, and tarps are being dragged down over it again and again until a multi pitched tent seems to be erected before your very eyes. And you hear the sound of music playing from various speakers, boom boxes, and things like that. And then you start seeing, as you keep driving, people, mostly younger people, in lots of leather or shirtless, some of them almost entirely nude. But one thing unifies them is that they all have very strange, almost clownish face paint on. And they all have what look like kind of Celt runes incorporated into their eyeshadow, into their makeup. And they don't seem to be paying you too much mind.
Look at these kids, probably all strung out on pot.
Fanta.
And you drive, and you find a appropriate parking spot, which is there seems to be what looks like a garage near the old loading dock for the factory.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, for the factory. And you pull in there to the left, and you find a nice tarp to cover your car.
I'll make sure to put the handicap sign too.
Okay, yeah.
As we are approaching, I'm taking off my, and I'm reaching into your purse, Doctor, and I'm reaching and I'm feeling around until I find a Sharpie, and then I am immediately trying to draw on a face that kind of matches what the kids are wearing. I'm going to be working on a disguise.
Nice. Okay, you pull it off. Yeah, you turn around and look back, and George is startlingly well adept at looking like a super Celtic juggalo.
Sup, youth?
Not anymore. Because you have a blooper for being cool.
I do.
Right. Yeah,
I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to get out of the car and to take a few steps away, then turn back towards the three of them and say, "I will figure out what's going on here. Don't you worry. You can count on me." Are we still in New Jersey? No. Weird question. I'm sorry. That was ridiculous. New York. And he's going to turn, and he's walking towards a group of these Celtic juggalos, as you said, and he's going to try to blend in and get information of what's going on.
All right, so that's going to be a charisma roll, and it's going to be negated. It's going to be buffed by your ability, but then negated by your inability to be cool. So that's going to be in a D20, unless you want to spend some points.
So I have a D20, just normal D20, and I have 1 point in mimicry and 1 point in disguise. And
okay, yep. So that'll give you.
And then I have, then I take one of those away because being cool is not something I do. So I'm rolling 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
You also have epic dice if you want to use them.
Yes, I'm going to use an epic die.
Cool, that's 3.
Mm-hmm. What do you think his chances of success are?
I have no idea.
I'll prepare for violence.
What am I? Is it charisma or is it spy? Charisma or spy, David?
Charisma. Sorry, I lost you there for a second.
Nope, not a problem. Then that means I got a 15.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they seem to believe you, and also Billy, because you are batshit crazy. I roll a d20 at the beginning of every scene, and I rolled something that I need to tell you.
Oh no!
You cannot, for this to work, you cannot survive.
Oh, I know that.
You know that. The second you look around, you're like, you're the Cyclops from Crow.
Wait, this action or just this entire adventure?
This entire adventure.
Okay, I thought getting information was going to end with me like getting hit by, and I was like, well, I served my purpose. Damn, talking to kids is rough.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Wibble your own head.
Yep.
Yeah, but
he talks to the kid. As you see, he's back. He pauses and looks to the side, and he has a conversation with nobody, and then just kind of like lets out a big sigh, nods his head, and then he continues moving back towards the group. David, what did I find out?
You found out that there's about to be a show as soon as the sun goes down for Salween, Sam Hain. And it's going to be a show to end all shows, and it's also going to be the unveiling of Thorgasm is coming out with its own streaming service. So it's going to be able to stream music of people that it's signed all over the world, and everyone's looking forward to it.
Okay, this is what I found out. First off, there's going to be the Dark Circle is having a performance here, and that is going to be the show before they unveil it's a rumor, but apparently Thorgasm has been preparing a streaming service for music, and anybody around the world could be able to hear Dark Circle or any of their bands that they have signed to their label. It's going to start exactly at the end of the show. They're going to activate it, and the world will be able to listen to everything that this record label has.
I have a question for you. Do you know what a streaming service is?
Yes, it's a service involving information being sent via boat down streams, rivers, sometimes bayous even. They haven't quite mastered the mountains yet, but there ain't no mountain high enough, as these kids taught me. It's a great song.
Bing! There is a sound of crackling from some speakers high above. They look old and soot covered, and they are round. There is a pleasant female voice that comes out from over and says, "Attention, attention! This show is about to begin. Please, all Thorgasms, please go to the center circle. The circle is about to close." And you just see everybody stop what they're doing and like literally drop drinks, drop cigarettes, and just start walking.
So a Thorgasm is not a person, it is a fan?
Oh, no. It's a record label. But the people who listen to it are Thorgasm as well. So I guess it's two people.
Interesting.
So, I hate everything about this.
How do we stop this transmission?
Well, they just said the circle is about to close, and that's the opposite of what we want to have happen.
So do we go to the tent? Is that where they are transmitting?
Yes. That's where they directed people to go, but we need to find a way to stop it from happening. Oh dear. Yes. George?
Well, those are old speakers, and they've connected to the old speakers, right? So wouldn't we need to go to where the old speakers used to be run? And then I looked towards the robot who said he was here at one point. Didn't you, Jesus?
The warehouse where everything... It would make sense for the ritual to be in the same spot. It is where the ley lines connect.
Again, Jesus, you're breaking up, man.
Sorry. It is where the ley lines connect. The spot in the warehouse.
But isn't that where... I'm sorry, David. The tent is set up in the old factory, right?
Yeah. The tent is massive. It's covering the factory. Yeah.
Oh, so it's covering the okay.
So but I believe I'm just saying for Jesus, he might know. I think that they controlled it in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something?
It was within the basement of the factory, so we must enter the tent and go downstairs.
Jesus, check your gear, by the way.
What's wrong with
bottom of your character? No, your bottom of your character.
Oh, right. So it's like my actual
of your audio character's gear. Jeez, sorry.
No problem. Let's see here. Oh, I forgot I had that.
Yeah, I thought that'd be important.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
What do you have, Jesus?
Something.
All right. So you wander. We're almost there, y'all. Yeah. You wander, or you walk with purpose. You do not wander. You walk with purpose into the tent, unmolested. No one bothers you. You are not waylaid by orcs or people dressed up as orcs, and you see the hustling, bustling crowd in front of you, all adorned with the same face paint and leather gear, and there's a couple of shamrocks hanging, which is really tacky considering the rest seems to be like an authentic attempt at authenticity, like a genuine attempt. And then there's also like tie, and it's just, they're not popular, but no one's really paying attention to them. So I'm there. And
the director, it's a time-honored tradition. The director inserts his own cameo in his own
of course.
Welcome to the show.
No.
And so the structure is massive, but does go down. It looks like there was a fire that gutted most of the actual building, and now it just exposes a massive chamber underneath with steel catwalk stairs that spiral downwards. And in the very center of this basement, where everyone is looking over, kind of Thunderdome style, like they're looking down at the band, and there's been barriers erected so people don't fall in, but you get the feeling that if they did fall in, this crowd would just cheer. And in the center, where what looks like a stone pedestal that's circular, is a band made up of 17 different people all crammed into the band. The stone pedestal is large, but they're still all kind of crammed in there. And there's it looks something like a goth ska band. Like every conceivable instrument is represented there, including what looks like dueling drummers. And there is a man standing there in the very center on a microphone, and he's a diminutive man. He's basically my build. So super sexy, but kind of tiny, but with like foot-long platforms on, spiky shoulder pauldrons, and then what can only be described as leather armor if people dress their men in D&D like women are illustrated in D&D. So, and I mean, he's hot, but I mean, not as hot as Dr. Chalice.
Well,
both of them, actually. Yeah. It runs in the family.
Brother?
So yeah, and they he gets on the microphone. It's Thorgasm himself. The band is called Thorgasm. He is Thor of the Gasm.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest Sauheim you've ever had. We are going to rock you into a brand new era, an era of unending darkness, an era of untold pleasures and pain, an era of demons and gargoyles and ghouls. And it's a shame that not all of you will make it. But first, something. But first, let's play an old hit before we get to our new album. This one's called Jenny, Why Did You Leave?
Before we get to the popular stuff, I have a new I just tinkered with it, in the bathroom.
Yeah, Joey wants to play something from his solo album. All right, and they start to play music, and the band starts to rock back and forth, and then all of your phones start going off, which I believe is just two of you. Yeah, it's just two of you.
Yep.
But as the robot and the batshit crazy, because you're not just batshit crazy, you're also a net hacker. Billy, that is your second trope.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, you have a gadget on you that lets you. Did I not put that on there? Oh shoot.
No, there's nothing about me having. It says I have like clothes on my back and a gadget you made.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to put your. I forgot to. Oh, that's a big mistake for me. You're a net hacker. My bad. You're a batshit crazy and a net hacker. You don't have to worry about that.
I suddenly, with all the machines going off, and I hear like the cell phones a buzzing and the internets a buzzing with life, I suddenly get a strange look on my face. Part of my life that I had tried to forget. I was a net hacker.
And you see everyone's phones start to go off, and you look down at your screens, even the flip phone, Mr. McCready, and you see a GIF of the
son of a bitch.
All right, now game over.
My game of the lead singer starting to play the song, but then he starts to play a different song in the next clip of the GIF. And then the next clip is a different song. And as he keeps playing, the band members around him start to age in the GIF itself. And as you look up, you notice that the audience is slowly starting to age in front of your very eyes. And the lights in the tent itself begin to dim and get dark. And then before you know it, someone pitches over the banister, a frail white-haired figure, and before they hit the bottom many floors below, they disappear into dust.
Good game, guys.
As this is happening, I turn towards Dr. I forgot her last name. Chalice. I turn to you, and I pull out a coin. Well, it looks like a pin or a coin that with a shamrock on it that you would kind of recognize from your childhood. Here.
What? I haven't seen.
When I get close, they will know me. They will not let me get close, but I will be a good distraction. You must get close and point this at him.
At who?
The singer. We need to stop this.
As you say that, I am Thorgasm! I am the band! Me and my... strums the guitar. Thorgasm! Get it, guys? Dig.
A little obvious, but yes.
Can I point it now?
You must get closer in order to do that.
He's pretty far away.
Yeah. But don't worry, I will distract them. Hopefully it will be enough.
And
Billy,
and Mr. McGreedy and I, we'll find where this equipment is running this information, because it has to be pretty old if it's interfacing everything, all this old equipment. And you said you shut down this once before, isn't that right?
I used to work at a TV station. I know what to unplug.
We're gonna do this.
Yep.
What's a TV station?
I'm sorry.
Yep.
All right, and Billy, I just rolled again for this new scene. That coin is going to turn people into griffins.
Cool.
Yep. All right, and Samantha, you are left alone with the teeming crowd of rapidly aging people.
Yep. And I'm marching forward. I'm actually just people who have already died and just tippled over. I'm just stepping on them. They literally turn to dust with my every footstep as I'm marching forward towards the stage.
And Dr. Chalice is going to be kind of slowly inching towards the wings, avoiding all of the people and not crushing them to dust because she.
They are technically already dead, so it's not my fault.
I wasn't judging. I was making a different choice for myself.
That you do you.
I
do
will.
human. You do human.
I will. Well.
All right, so you navigate towards the stands. I'm going to need a roll from everyone. I'm going to need a spy roll from you, Dr. Chalice, as you sneak. I'm going to need a intelligence roll from the old man and the young crazy as you try to find where you're supposed to go for the electronics. And from the robot, I'm going to need, if you're just pushing through, strength roll.
All right.
I'm spending one of my epic dice so that I can roll 2 dice.
You can spend more if you want. You can spend as many as you want.
I'm going to spend
just one.
All right. One thing I'm going to do before anything, I'm going to use my electro slurp ability. I'm going to grab energy from the surrounding cell phones into myself and give myself 2 epic dice.
Sounds good.
Wow. Bring me up to 5. And I'm going to just push through using one of my epic dice.
Wait,
can I do that?
Did you look like that? No, it's Angela.
Oh.
So do you want to know my dice roll yet?
Yeah.
So I rolled 3 dice, right?
Oh no.
Uh-huh.
I rolled a 2, a 3, and a 4.
Oh boy.
You know what my spy is at right now? -4.
Oh no.
So on my best roll, I got a 0.
We'll get to you, madam.
All right, so I have a 10 and my strength, it's strength, right?
Yes.
Okay, and my strength is, let me just make sure because I modified it later. Yeah, my strength is now 4, so 14.
Awesome. And by the way, Angela, the reason you have those stats is because Dr. Chalice in the original film is a terrible liar and can't sneak to save his fucking life.
I know. I'm nothing against these stats other than a 2, a 3, and a 4. Like, what are the odds of this coming up in a row like that?
I mean, you get a 5 and a 6, and if they're all hearts, you've got a straight. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, you're going to crush. All right, Dan and Dan.
I got a 23.
Nice.
Nice. Wow. I got a 19.
Wow. Okay. So we're gonna go with team
competent.
Yeah, team competent. Competech. All right, team Competech. You immediately find because people are dying and it's kind of clearing out some space. You also look and you're like, all right, even in the 80s or the 70s or 20s, whenever McClary's from, and from now. The sound booth is going to be roughly the same. It's going to be in view of the audience, but it's going to be in view of the stage, but it's going to be off to the side. So you find some thick cables to follow, and you find yourself going up into the rafters into a catwalk where a sound studio or sound station has been kind of jury-rigged and soldered into the catwalk itself. But you notice some strange bulbous batteries with randomly blinking multicolored lights that are all over it, giving it some sort of power that is far too much for a simple PA system.
I'm a little circus with that.
Yep. Jesus, you force your way towards the center of the band, and exactly what you needed to do. Not get too close, because you start a fight. You don't just start a fight, though. Because it's a rock concert, you kind of start a mosh pit, whatever that is. All right, and Dr. Chalice.
Hey.
So you are sneaking, and you luckily do not get any of those ones. One, you take the, or you got 2, 3, and a 4, so you got a 4, so you got a 0. You are sneaking, but you're a doctor, and people are dying around you. And so without thinking about it, you start trying to resuscitate someone who just went from 24 to 94 immediately in front of you. And that is your action as you were like, I can't just let these kids die.
Sure.
All right. So going with Team Comptech, what do you do?
Is there anybody manning the...
Strangely, no. It seems to be automated.
I'm going to immediately walk up towards a computer. For a guy who has spent a decade, or as he claims, several decades, asylum, he sits down in front of the computer, and at first he's using one finger to just tap at the keyboard, and then that one finger turns into several, and then he's just typing with a flurry of motions, trying to hack into the into like whatever data they're using to upload GIF out there. He's trying to net hack.
All right, perfect.
And he's also while he's doing this, he's looking at that book that he stole earlier on the airplane, and in the binary section that he was circling O's, you notice that he had altered the code that was in there to start kind of designing his own code.
Beautiful. For the callback, going to give you an epic dice on this roll. It's going to be an electronics or computer roll. Jesus, going to need a fight roll from you. That's going to be Tuffy. Their defense roll, or excuse me, it's going to be a defense roll from you. Their attack is 19.
19.
Roll.
All right, using another epic.
Dan.
Yeah.
You can assist Billy if you so desire.
Sure, why not? I mean, his business is mostly trying to find the right stuff to unplug, but
precisely. I mean, that's also something. I'm trying to break the GIF, but like right now,
I'm trying to break the equipment.
Yeah,
David.
Okay, so yeah,
nat 20.
Nice.
We'll get to you. Mm-hmm. All right, and Angela, this patient is a goner. You call it. You stand up, having triaged. Going to need one more spiral from you. Unless you just want to start barreling through with all that strength you got.
Let's try spy again.
Okay, cool.
And another epic die.
Or you do have a mad high charisma.
Is there anybody to charisma?
In this game? Absolutely. Do you think that the Chalice bloodline is sexy enough to fight against the Dark Circle? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
I'm just saying, like, everyone's been dropping dead. I mean, the family does have a line, and it is actually dead people.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. So, Chest of Wonders, which is one of your tropes. Talent show, once per day. Take off an article of clothing by using 2 AP, and get an epic die for charisma rolls for the rest of the scene. Bulky pecs, once per day. Take off an article of clothing, and get an epic die to strength rolls. Or... this is not me. This is from the developers.
Oh boy.
Wet T-shirt champ. Once per scene, gain an additional epic die token when you get your top one. So the first one seems like something that will not stop me from being invited to your house. So yeah, if you... And also taking your hair down, removing your glasses, as the nerd, that also counts.
Classic, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very classic. Sure. I don't know what's happening. We're rapidly approaching Angela's like time to turn into a pumpkin. That's sitting on the table.
That's also an option in this game.
I'm sure it is. So yeah, she was wearing like high-end athleisure wear earlier. Mm-hmm. So she takes off the zip-up tracksuit top. She'd actually been using it to try to like cushion somebody's head. So there was a reason for it. There's a plot reason for it. So she used it to cushion somebody. And when she stands up, she's now in like a Linda Hamilton tank top.
Nice. Okay, roll it. So that's a charisma plus an extra die plus whatever else you want to spend on it.
All right. Come here, flat dice. There we go. There we go. All right. So 14, 15, 18. Nice. And that's with a +8. So 26.
Yeah. Thorgasm rolled a nat 1. It happens to a lot of guys, Thorgasm. All right. So this is what happens all over the place.
Since he was
So you stand up and you drop your sweatshirt, your jacket, track jacket, and stand up and kind of whip your hair, flip your hair a bit and like tie it back. And it's like the perfect shot from you all the way down to the lead singer. And as upstairs team hacker is when an old man is just smashing the controls with a cane, and and a younger man is using some sort of like duct tape together gizmo to hack it, and starts flickering. The GIF starts flickering on the image in front of him and all the phones, but also makes the lights start to dim, a theme, and flicker. And as it does, the light behind your character, Samantha, flickers but remains illuminated while everything else goes out, casting this angelic image across the eyes, the not damaged eyes, another theme, of the lead singer who hits the wrong chord just as all of the power goes down, and the only illumination is the illumination of the cell phones that everyone is holding. And what you see, Mr. Smith, is a bunch of cell phones turn and reach towards you and start grabbing all over you. And then you see Samantha. You see you hear the muffled voice of Thorgasm say, "What the fuck? The fuck happened? No, we're supposed to do the summoning. God damn it!" And
David, can I change the script?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just had an idea.
Do it.
This sounds like a change the script thing.
Yep.
As he says, we're supposed to do the summon. The GIF starts changing, as in somebody has uploaded something else that should be summoned with all this information. And since you said this was Halloween, there is a classic trope, and apparently that was established night. There is a movie that is aired on a lot of TV channels. It's a classic, and it involves a young actress, Jamie Lee Curtis, and her would-be killer, known as Michael Myers. And as I'm hacking, that's the gift that's been changed. No, and all that energy that's being pushed into whatever they're trying to summon is pushed into summoning something from the recesses of our fears, created by our imagination. I am going to try to summon an aspect of Michael Myers himself onto the stage instead of whatever the hell they were trying.
Fun fact: switching the script does not require a roll. It happens.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So the image of beauty, I mean, you look fine, but for some reason, unbelievably, that shines across. The power goes out, the studio equipment goes down, everything goes to hell, and there's a bunch of lights, and Mr. Smith starts getting thrown around by a bunch of pissed off people, and then you hear a single piano go ding, 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 and then you see somebody looking at their phone on the stage just disappear into the darkness, and then the trombonist swings around. It was like, what the hell is it? And he disappears. He goes like, and then the drummer disappears. The drummer disappears, and the two guitarists disappears, and the xylophonist disappears. Didn't even have a solo yet, and they all start disappearing until finally the lead singer looks up at Samantha as the glow from his phone reaches over him and onto a masked being behind him, dressed in overalls and a expressionless face. And you have a clear shot towards him and the creature that was summoned, Samantha. And when you look at that creature, pure, unmitigated fear washes over you.
Shoot her!
No! As I'm just being dogpiled by a bunch of fans. No!
And I absolutely frozen in fear, but Samantha looks down and she sees the coin or the badge in her hand, and she just says, "This is for my dad," and she holds it up.
All right. And there is a blast of blue energy that immediately goes into the phone of Thorgasm and then fills him up entirely. And he starts to struggle and turn entirely blue. And then the creature, the thing behind him, this murderer with a knife in his hand, starts to step back as if he's going to be hit, as if he's going to somehow escape. And then long feminine arms from the darkness wrap around him from behind. And a young woman, about 20 years old, brunette, wearing a cardigan and jeans, wraps around him and shoves him into the blue light, and they both are enveloped by it. And Thorgasm, Michael Myers, and Leslie Strope are all disappeared into a brilliant white light. And there is an explosion from all of the concert goers, and everything goes black. Exterior shot, somewhere outside of San Mira. Sam sits up, covered in dirt, slightly singed.
And she's looking around. Is anybody else here? Hello?
There's a groan of an old man from a tree near.
We did it. We killed the internet.
The term is broke the internet, and no, we didn't.
Agree to disagree.
Is the internet what you call your hip?
No. And then as you look around, two items fall down from the sky. A otherwise immaculate men's tie and glasses, and a singed book of code with a Pac-Man insignia on it, and a patient's intake bracelet lands next to you.
Sam looks up wonderingly. I assume doesn't see anything in the sky.
Nothing else.
What the hell?
Yeah, and it was McReady, like, finally gets to his feeling. All right, come on. It's a rental. We got to get it back.
But the others?
Do you see them?
And Samantha just picks up the fallen accessories. I guess not.
Yeah. You both get into the car. Start up the engine, and as you drive away, the radio starts up with, I hope everybody had a good old happy here in Southern California. It was a hot one. All had a good time, saw some good shows, made some good friends, and had some crazy times. Man, sometimes I wish just like, why does Halloween only have to happen once a year? Can you imagine? What if we just had Halloween all year round? And now, word from our sponsor, Silver Shamrock. And we cut.
Woo!
And that's it. That is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch Part 2, Circle of Darkness.
Nice.
Very nice.
All right.
Very nice.
Yes.
Loved it.
14 minutes over. Sorry. We are still working out the kinks for those of you who are desperate to get sleep.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be the two parents. Seriously, sorry. I tried to.
No.
But yeah, so this is this is like a dusting of what this system can allow for and can do, and I hope you all had fun.
Yes.
And so thank you very much for watching, everybody, and listening. If you're listening to this on the podcast, we are doing stuff like this. We are rotating who is going to be the director. I volunteered myself to be the sacrificial lamb, and I would have it either way. And then moving on from this, we've got movies like Krull, I believe.
That's the current plan.
That.
Krull, Event Horizon. We have the Rocketeer. There's a couple more. There's a couple names in the list that
Yep.
that we drew.
All right. So, yeah, thank you very much for listening, watching, and tasting, perhaps. And, you know, from all of us to all of you, happy Halloween, y'all. So long. Good night.
Good night.
Igor, go and get me what I crave. Evening, Igor.
If you want a better orange soda, made with more natural orange flavor than ever before, try Shasta. It's got the bright color, the sweet smell, and the great taste of oranges. Shasta, it's the orange soda that can make anybody happy.